I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. Moving on to exercise 4, this is page 31 in the grade 5 Discovering Music Theory workbook. And now we're going to give names to each of the degrees of the scale. These are the technical names allocated to the steps of the scale. And you can just kind of learn them and just know it is this, and so that's it, just remember it. However, where's the fun in that? And this is where I think it's absolutely magic. It's so interesting how this kind of makes sense if you just unpack it a little bit. And I do think if you understand what's going on, it's so much easier to remember the names, isn't it? So here we have a C major scale, and so the first degree of the scale is the tonic. And that comes from the root word like tone, key. That's kind of your home note. And so C is your home note, your tone key, the tonic. The second degree is supertonic. And super means above, kind of like, you know, if you go to the opera and they've got kind of the words of the opera above the stage, they are called supertitles. Sub is below, so subtitles come at the bottom of your TV screen, but supertitles come above the stage. Now we'll look at these more closely in a second in a different context. 3 is the mediant. We'll look at why in a second. 4 is the subdominant. Again, we'll look at these, and this is really magic when you see how this works out. Number 5 is the dominant, and because dominant, chatting and writing doesn't work. This is because it kind of dominates the key. Chord 5 is the chord that sort of makes the perfect or imperfect cadence, which we'll get to, where the music either sounds finished or not finished. And if a composer is modulating to a new key, the dominant is the most obvious key to go to. So if you're moving from C major to a new key, G major is the strongest key to go to. It kind of dominates the key. Number 6, now this is the one that seems strange at first, but it will make sense in a second, is the submediant. Number 7 is the leading note, because it always leads back to the tonic. It kind of pushes you onto the tonic like that. Ti-do, finish, and it's kind of leads you to the tonic. Now let's look at this in a different context so it makes much more sense. So I've written out kind of a chunky stave, so we've got plenty of room. If we stay in the treble clef, oh, that's a that is a massive clef. Because it's so big, I feel really weird just writing that. That's way too twirly. I just feel really weird writing on. How strange. Okay, that's a really chunky stave. However, here's a C, so that's our tonic. That's our home note. Now the D, the supertonic, we can see is above that. Now then, I'm just going to go a little bit out of order. No, we'll carry on. So let's do the dominant, which is the G, the 5th. Okay, so there's the G, the 5th. And then if we look at the subdominant, that's the lower dominant, the lower 5th. So counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why the F is the subdominant. Now, by chance, The subdominant is also underneath the dominant. So it kind of works both ways. It's underneath the dominant and it's also the lower dominant. We've got the dominant a fifth up and then the subdominant is a fifth down. Now the third is the mediant, the middle. If you think about your kind of averages, you have mean, median, mode, averages in maths, don't you? That's about as far as I go, I'm afraid, with maths. But mediant means middle. So here's our tonic, here's our dominant. The mediant is in the middle. That gives us our arpeggio or our chord. And then moving to the sixth, that's the submediant, that's the lower middle. So the A, we know that the submediant is the sixth, that's the A. The submediant is the lower mediant, the lower middle. And then that just leaves us with the leading note, which is the B, which leads us to the C. So I'll do that again. We have the tonic, we have the dominant, we have the subdominant, the lower dominant, we have the mediant, we have the lower mediant, and then we have the supertonic and the leading note. That's why their names are as they are. Ultimately, you just got to remember them. And so for exercise 4, we've got a couple of jobs to do. First of all, we've got to figure out what step of the scale it is, and then we need to add it as an interval. And so if the tonic is F sharp, the subdominant means number 4. We're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've just got to bear in mind what the key signature would be. And because F sharp major has a key signature of F, C, G, D, A, E, we know that B is natural, so that's not affected. Remember, always count the given note as 1. The tonic is always note 1 because that's the first degree of the scale, and then we count 1, 2. The only way you can perhaps get a bit confused is if you forget to count this as 1 and go launching off a step ahead. So B flat melodic minor is related to D flat major, which has a key signature of B, E, A, D, G flats. So we just need to bear that in mind as our key signature. Now if this is the tonic, we're asked for the mediant, which is the third. So 1, 2, 3 takes us to D, and of course D should be flattened because of the key signature. And again, this is why it's really helpful to just have your circle of fifths to hand. Always write it out before you start, because you're going to need your key signatures in so many different contexts for so many different questions. Instead of trying to juggle it in your mind, just have it here, and it saves stress and it saves making mistakes. So E flat harmonic minor. So E flat minor is related to G flat major, which is B, E, A, D, G, C flats. Now then, the tonic is E flat here in the bass clef. We need the leading note, which is the 7th, leading back to the tonic at 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 takes us to D. Now, at first you would think D flat because of your key signature. So we'll sketch that in. But we know the harmonic minor has the 7th raised, and so a flat raised becomes a natural, so we don't need that flat. We can either leave it exactly as it is, or you could put a natural just to show. That's a little bit redundant though, so you could put it in brackets just to show that you know what the steps have been that you've worked through. So G flat major has a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats, G flats, C flats. Now if this is the tonic, the submediant is number 6. So we're counting way down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that takes us to an E. which we know should be flattened, otherwise it's not G flat major because we need to apply the key signature as an accidental. Hopefully that's given you enough to now, if you've not already done so, have a little go at these yourself. If it is that you feel uncomfortable with any of the clefs, then just sketch the letter names in just to help you know what you're thinking about. So I'm hoping you've had a go of these. Let's look at these together. So D sharp minor is related to F sharp major, which has a key signature of F, C, G, D, A, E sharps. This, of course, is a D because, well, a D sharp. That's our tonic. And we need the dominant, which is the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is here. Now, this is a note C, D, E, F, G, A. That's a note A, and we know that A should be sharpened. So we need to apply the key signature as an accidental. So here, F sharp major, we know is F, C, G, D, A, E sharps. This is an F sharp, and we need a leading note. Now we've got to count up. Because if you notice at the beginning of the exercise it says one note above, we've got to go above. We can't then jiggle the octaves, so we're going to have some ledger lines here. So let's get counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. So space line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is here. So we want 2 ledger lines, and we're here, and that is, so the leading note should be an E to the F sharp, so let's just check that. So C, D, E, that's an E, and we want an octave higher to get up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's note E. We know we're correct. And we know it should be E sharp because of the key signature that needs to be applied. So it's a lot to think about, I do agree. However, take it a step at a time, take it steady, and just follow the steps and the procedures through, and it soon becomes quite easy. So D sharp minor is related to F sharp major, so we've got to be bearing in mind a key signature of F, C, G, D, A, E sharps. Here's our tonic, which is a D. A supertonic is next door, it's step 2. So that's going to be an E. And of course, it's got to be E sharp because of the key signature, so we just need to add a sharp sign. Now here we have E flat melodic minor. And we know that E flat minor, is related to G flat major, which is B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats, G flats, C flats. Now here is the tonic, which is E flat, and the subdominant is 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, just above the ledger line, and that's E, F, G, that's an A, and we know that needs to be flattened, so we need to add a flat sign. And that's that exercise completed. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.